Welcome to this week's Sacral Self. It's gonna look a bit different this week, but that's okay. So, Sacral Self at its core is to help share holistic womb wellness. And while there are so many facets, avenues that we could go down, today, this week, what I felt was really important to talk about and to honor is the sacred pause. I feel like many of us have been really going through it lately. I feel myself personally, I've been very focused. I've been very driven in a way that has been so new to me. And it's important for us to know when we need to take some time for self-care. And really, I think that is one of the most beneficial things that comes out of having a healthy connection with our sacral, with our energetic womb space, and with our wombs if you are a person with a physical womb. And what I mean by that is being able to hear the inner guidance that comes from our womb space that tells us when it's time to stay focused and get to work, when it's time to weave and plan, when it's time to rest, when it's time to take care of and nourish and nurture ourselves. And we live in a world where that's not really something that is put as a priority, and it should be. As a suicide prevention advocate, one of the first things that we talk about is creating a self-care plan for yourself. Or if you're helping someone else, helping them cultivate a self-care plan, a realistic self-care plan for themselves. Because, and there's a million different ways to say this, we can't save someone else if we're not okay. We can't help someone else if we're not okay. We can't hold that space. So we have to make sure we're okay first. So this week, what I am offering is just some womb wisdom. And then I'm just going to give us a practice and send you on your way to do with whatever it is you choose to take from this with you. And if anything I shared with you today is of any benefit, or you do it already, or if you had some sort of aha moment during this, or if you take something from this and put it into practice and it's helped, I would love to hear about this, because you're why I do this. So what I want to talk about today is actually very interesting, because it's a conversation I started my day off with having with someone. I had someone reach out to me, and they were reaching out for a friend, and the friend is currently struggling with endometriosis, and the doctors are not being very helpful. And she reached out and was like, hey, do you know of anything that can help? And I was like, hey, so as a certified holistic womb wellness advocate, that's in my wheelhouse. You came to absolutely the right person. We can totally take care of this. So I ended up sending her, bless her heart, a 20-minute long voice note, pacing my house, letting it flow, and she was like, thank you so much for that. She was like, there was actually a lot in there that helped me too. So, now I'm going to carry this over to here. When it comes to womb wellness, holistic womb wellness, It's literally if you were to picture like a disco ball, right? And the disco ball has all those faces, all those mirrors. Every little mirror will be something. When it comes to holistic womb wellness, there's so many facets. But in one layer, in one aspect of looking at it this way, is the spiritual diet, our spiritual diet, because it's very much where science meets spirituality, is where the holistic womb wellness lies. But when it comes to what are we taking in, okay? So, what are we taking in on a physical level? What are we eating? What are we drinking? What are we doing with our body? Are we being stagnant? Are we using movement? And when I say movement, I don't mean going to the gym and like working out, because that's not always for everyone. But what I do mean is finding what works for you. Everybody is different. So what works for this person won't work for you. Maybe it might, but it might not. In the words of the late great Ram Dass, we are all just walking each other home. So we get to experience this beautiful journey of life together, while all also individually experiencing such uniquely different experiences. So, with that being said, for you, it might look totally different. Let me use myself as an example. I won't say cannot. I don't like to really sit down and meditate. I don't really have the time for it, being a small business owner and a mother of 7 children. It's not um something that I have figured out the hack for yet. We'll say that. I won't say it's impossible, but what I will say is it has helped me to move on my feet. And it's helped me to further validate that my walk is very, very, very different than most. And as I figure it out and I share it with all of you, I feel like there's a lot that you guys will resonate with, because like attracts like. So, with that, my aha realizations and my meditation looks more of a fluid movement. So I will, if I throw on music, which I usually am, I've always got music on. So as I'm moving and I'm flowing with the music and I am connecting with it in a very spiritual way, and I'm cleaning my house, or I'm working on an order, or I'm, going on a walk with the kids, we're hiking with the kids, or, just outside, something where I'm moving is where it really comes through. Even as when I'm talking to clients on the phone, or I'm sending voice notes or what have you, I'm always pacing the house, because that's when it really comes through. Movement really helps me, right? So another thing too is I love yoga. I do. I love yoga. And when I can stay consistent with it, it's an incredible, incredible thing. That being said, I don't always get to it in a day. And so with that, I might not get to my yoga, but I do know that I will be dancing. I will absolutely be dancing, because I'll be having music on and I have things to do. So, how can I use those moments mindfully while I'm dancing and moving and doing things, to also let my body express and emote what it needs to get out? I have psoriasis. You can kind of see it. So, with the psoriasis, I ended up getting it. It was already a dormant gene within me, but it ended up becoming activated because I went through a period of my life where I was under like the most extreme amounts of stress possible for my body, apparently. And so the psoriasis showed up, and it covered almost my entire body. I had it on my face. I had it all over the place. It was like all over my hands, up and down my arms, down my legs. I mean, I was covered. And back in 2017 was when I got with my partner, Corey, my fiance. And during that time, I had finally received the partner that I didn't know that I was asking for, but that I was asking for. One who saw all of the hardships and the struggles that I had went through before meeting him, and everything I had to do on my own, and decided that I wasn't going to be doing anything on my own anymore. And he stepped up and was able to hold the space for me to become who you now know, who is now talking to you today. I was able to step fully into my healing journey and do my shadow work and step into my calling. And that's not to say that I wouldn't have found my way here eventually. Everything happens as it should. But I am saying that it was very divinely guided. And my point being that once I was able to recognize, because it took a few years of even being in this relationship with him to realize that I was safe. And in doing so, my body, my nervous system began to recognize that it was safe. And what they don't tell you is that when you have lived your entire life in fight or flight or freeze or fawn survival mode, that it does wonders on your nervous system. And that if you've lived your whole entire life that way, that you can't just heal your nervous system with a quick 5-minute practice that you learned on Instagram, or it doesn't happen in a week. It doesn't happen in a couple of months. Like, it takes lots of practice and lots of rest. And I was just sharing this with my girlfriends earlier today, that after 2022, which that was the year that I got my tumor taken out. That was the year that I had something huge come up in my relationship and almost ended everything. I had a huge, huge wound to work through with that. But I'm also grateful because it actually was a catalyst for a beautiful rebirth, for my relationship and for my home. But that was also the year that my cousin was murdered, and we lost my Nana in a very, well, we didn't lose her. She's still very much here, but the year that my Nana died in this physical realm, in a very unexpected and very tragic way. And so there was a lot of layers there to heal. So for the next year after that, I was so tired, and I was finding myself having to cancel so many plans that I was making with people, and so many things were coming up in my life that were stopping me from doing, either executing plans that I had made, or brain fog, or just environmental chaos. You know how the universe works. If it's not meant for you, then your guides and the universe are going to throw you as many signs as possible. So that's what was happening. And so I went into deep rest. And that is when I learned that when the nervous system finally feels safe, when we finally feel safe, that we do become exhausted. There is this deep, deep exhaustion that shows up. And it's because, like I said, we finally feel safe. So we're finally safe enough for the first time in our lives to rest, to heal. And so that's what happened. And I had to work through, because I do also have chronic health conditions and autoimmune that I am healing. But with that, comes a lot of things like learning that our energy levels aren't as stable as others, and that every day looks different, and that we can't feel guilty if we can't accomplish as much today as we did yesterday. And that, if we make plans and we're so excited about them, and then the day shows up and we're having a flare up, or it's just not, we're not having a good day and it's not going to happen, that we need to make sure that we have a good support system of people that understand that. And if they don't, then I'm sorry, but you have to honor yourself. So it's like a whole journey in itself, just that. But learning that deep exhaustion comes up, then I was able to then work myself through accepting that rest is also progress. It's still getting something done, something very, very important done. Your brain, your spirit, your energy, your body, it's all getting a rest, a very much needed rest. And so once I was able to shift through that guilt of rest, because society does make us feel guilty for that, I was able to actually begin like some really deep healing. And there got to a period of time, because like I said, all of like last year was just deep, 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 deep rest and deep healing. And there got a point where I was like, okay, like I have to like start getting things going. Like I can't keep saying like that I'm resting, like, and the guilt started to pop back up. And then my readings and different signs that I was getting kept pointing to like, keep surrendering to this rest. And so that's what I did. And I'm so glad that I did, because this year I can feel it. I feel the bounce back, and I feel like myself, but I also feel brand new in a lot of ways, and a lot of clarity in a lot of ways. So it's awesome. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is, through this journey of allowing myself to rest and allowing myself to heal, and after losing Nana, I went through my holistic womb wellness certification training through Javon at Hidden Wellness Boutique, Hidden Jewel Wellness Boutique. And after going through all of this, it was like the right shift that happened. And so I began living in alignment with speaking up for myself, creating boundaries where there needed to be, not watering relationships that were not reciprocal, and, treating my body like the beautiful, sacred, imperfectly perfect temple that it is. And while, of course, I still do have cheats where I eat my fast food, or I like have my like midnight snacks. Nobody's perfect, okay? But what matters is that you begin making the efforts, even if it's in little ways, right? So beginning to be more mindful with what I was taking in, and I've noticed a difference in my mental health, my emotional health, the relationships in my life, my relationship with spirit, with my craft, with my spiritual practices, and even with my psoriasis. Like it's almost gone. Okay? It is almost gone. And I've also like been taking like collagen powder that I get from Anima Mundi and things like that. But it's like I said, it's all parts to the whole, being mindful of what I'm taking in, allowing myself to rest when I need the rest, and not talking myself out of doing the thing because it doesn't make sense. Like, no, it came through. I wanted to do it. We're going to do it. Like, living my life more in flow and alignment. And that's really helped so much, so much. And with that is why today looks like this. I was going to go live in our group, and instead, this is where we are. And I just wanted to share all of that with you because I feel like it's going to resonate with who it resonates with. And I also want to share that our womb space and our throat are connected. And so a really good way to activate and tap into our womb space, which I also view as the connection to our ancestral line, is through song, to open up that channel. And so there's a really great song that it's called The Grandmother Song, and it's by Sheffy Oren something. I will drop it in the comments. However, the song is an incredible song, and I won't sing all of it to you, but to show you how it works, right? This throat to womb connection, literally just placing a hand on the womb and a hand on the, not the throat, but over the heart, just to feel the vibrations of your speaking, your singing, feeling it on your chest. Closing the eyes, throw on this song, listen to it a few times if you need to. It is repetitive, so it's easy to catch on to, but I hear the voice of my grandmother's calling me. I hear the voice of my grandmother's song. She says, wake up, child, wake up, listen, 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 listen. Right? And then we have the drum, the heartbeat of Mother Earth. And if you don't have a drum, you have legs. I hear the voice of my grandmother's calling me. I hear the voice of my grandmother's song. She says, wake up, child, wake up, listen, 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 listen. Right? So it is so powerful when we tune in this way. It's one of my favorite ways to tune in. So I just wanted to come on here, channel straight from the heart, straight from the womb space. I hope that some of what I shared with you was helpful. And may you honor yourself and nourish yourself and take care of you this week. And if you need any additional support, reach out to me. My inbox is always open. All right. I love you. Have a blessed day. Blessed be.